Hey, Big V here. Today we're talking teams and we're going to talk about how to create a sales system that actually gets real results. And so rather than just talk about how to create a sales system, I'm going to give you an example of a sales system and then I'm going to give you the actual tool we use to create it. We use a process called the threat elimination system. In any industry, in any business, whether you're in real estate or an entrepreneur or any kind of business, every business has threats. What we like to do is we like to use threats. If you think of a SWOT analysis, let me break that down for you. I think when we talk about a SWOT analysis, it has 4 quadrants: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. The strengths and weaknesses are internal to you. The opportunities and threats are external to the market. So what are the opportunities you're not taking advantage of? How do you apply your strengths to take advantage of those opportunities? And then what are the threats that exist in the marketplace? What are the things that cause people to pull back, to not buy your goods or services, or to not engage? With real estate, it could be increased interest rates, it could be the class action lawsuits that are going on, it could be inflation, it could be the increasing housing prices. So what we like to do is we like to take a threat, and instead of using it as a reason or excuses for failure, we say, how do we take this threat and create an actual sales system to it that will move people from being emotionally removed or feeling fear or anxiety or stressed to being engaged, enthusiastic, and hopeful? That's called the threat elimination system. And I'm going to give that to you, but I'm going to give you one very specific one. This threat-based marketing is based on what's going on in the market right now. So let me give you an example of a threat. So a consumer today that owns a home may have a house at 2.5% interest, wants to sell their home. The threat is if they sell their home with the 2.5% interest, they would move into a new home at a 6 or 7% interest rate. So they're not really upgrading the home, they're just increasing the mortgage by moving houses. So the threat is increased interest rates keeps me from moving forward. Another example of a threat might be something like, I want to sell my home, but when I look at the market, I can't find another home to buy. Because of limited inventory, which is the threat, I'm not going to put my house on the market because I don't have a home to buy. Another threat might be, well, if a sale comes in, people don't want to make an offer on a home until they've sold their home, but they love your house, but it's contingent upon the sale of another home. So how do we give both the buyer and the seller confidence they can move forward in a transaction where a contingent sale is the only way to make it happen? These are all specific things, so we've created what we call the verified contingency sale system. So using these threats, let me take you through how it works. So the way the verified contingency sale Workman it's designed to ease seller concerns that anything that has to do with a contingent contract in the sale, both on the buy side and on the sell side. It's an exclusive system that verifies all the key terms of a contingency that puts the seller at ease, accepting the home contingent upon the sale of the buyer. The verified contingency sell program uses proprietary language, emotional intelligence, and a script and a checklist for both the buyer and the seller to help both of their clients move forward with confidence. All right, so here's what would be included in the seller checklist. So if you have a contingent sale come in, instead of just saying to the seller, well, I'm not sure a contingent sale is a great idea right now, what we say is, well, I don't know. Why don't we use our verified contingency sales system? Using proprietary language and naming your sales system is a big part of creating a sales system. Then you sit down with a seller and say, I've got a checklist that we go through to verify that this contingent sale meets the criteria to give you confidence moving forward. Here's the checklist. I'm just going to give you some of these things. Is the home currently listed? Is the home priced correctly? Is the marketing of the home adequate to get it there? Does it have good exterior and interior curb appeal? What's the interior condition? Are there interior photos? Is there a virtual tour? How many current showings have they had since the home was listed? How many on average happened? How many offers have they received? Can we preview the home ourselves and rate the property based on showing condition, scale, and price on a scale of 1 to 10? Can we include the purchase agreement as a requirement for a price reduction if the home hasn't sold within a certain number of days or weeks? 14 days, you do a price reduction. We might include, if applicable, the opportunity for the seller to continue the market home as active until the other property goes under contract. And we remove that contingency. And so we continue to attract buyers. Is home currently under contract or is it pending? If the home is currently under contract, is the buyer contract contingent upon another home selling? Yes or no? Kind of fascinating. By requesting all this information and by going through the checklist, what happens is the seller all of a sudden starts to gain confidence that, you know what, it meets all this criteria. I think we should move forward. They've put us in a position to be successful with a contingent sell. If it doesn't meet the criteria, it allows the seller to make the decision to not accept the contingent seller to counter with different terms. On the buyer checklist, I think it's really interesting when you're presenting your offer with a contingent sell, you should use your buyer contingency sell system. It's a sales system designed specifically to remove the threat and give the seller everything they need to make a decision to accept your offer. Using an agent that has these skills and teaching your agents to have these skills and run these sales systems makes all the difference in the world in a challenging market. With the offer, consider the following. Send a full copy of the listing with all of the photos if the home is under contract and a copy of what that looks like, of the listing showing that it's pending. The real added bonus, a copy of the purchase agreement, along with the buyer's proof of funds and pre-approval. So you show them that your house is under contract, you've got a good buyer, and they can actually buy the home. Second, if the home is currently under contract or pending, and this contract is contingent upon another offer, maybe you send a copy of that one as well. The more information you give, the more value the seller will see in choosing your offer. If the home is actively listed but not under contract, send a copy of the CMA supporting the list price of the house, a list of the number of showings since the home was last listed, including the number of showings average each week. I also think you should send them a number of offers received on the property so far and a link to the full virtual tour so the seller can see what that home is like when they go through it. The ability for the seller to continue to market their home is active, even though they have a contract pending on it, and include the buyer's pre-approval level and proof of funds required to close. The more you put together in your buyer contingency sell system and the dialogue you use in presenting the offer to the seller gives the seller confidence to be able to move forward. So whether you're a buyer or whether you're a seller, if you use the threat elimination system to create your sales process using the exact process that we use in the download, I'm gonna give you right now, here at the bottom of this video, I'm gonna give it to you right now. How about we give you the threat elimination system and I give you a copy of the verified contingency sell system for buyers and for sellers and give you the tools you need to be able to be more successful with your offers you present and with the listings that come in where you get offers to have a contingent sale. I want to make sure you have all the tools, the resources, and the know-how to create your own threat elimination systems and create great sales systems going forward. So download the links, have a great time, and use the threats as a competitive advantage in growing your team's success going forward.